a lot better than the first day when we started looking at division and when we saw how we can break the number apart to decompose it into a smaller place value. And that was really good. But I do want us to take a look back at this, and we're going to use our models. And I want you girls to help me out, figure out how can I break apart a larger place value into a smaller place value. So right here, I have a block of 1,000, a cube of 1,000. And here, I have a group of 100, and then at the top, if you notice, I have another group of 100, but I have it broken down into Abigail? Tens. Okay? Here I have some ones. Some more tens. I'm going to put these extra tens to the side. Here I have some ones. So I want to call out a friend that can decompose these numbers into their next place values, and I want to see how you can do that. Okay? So, the brave scholar that's ready to show us their thinking. Nayalis, would you like to give it a try? Go for it. So, Nayalis, in total there, now counting these ones, we're going to put these ones to the side. In total, right there, how much do you have and how do you know? Loud and proud so everyone can hear and learn from you.
I have 1,200 because I know that this 3D cube represents 1,000.
How do you know?
Because it's 1,000 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128
Okay, but just like you counted these as groups, here you're counting two different kinds of groups, right? Because this, though those are in the hundreds, how do you know that you actually have 200?
How I know I had 200 because even though that 10 sticks, there are 10 sticks on the top, but they're still there. You know, I know 10 times 10 equals 100, so it is the same as a group of 10, and there's 10 groups of 10.
Awesome. All right, so in the last couple of days, we've been seeing how when we cannot fit a group, when we cannot fit a place value into our groups, what can we do? So if I have to divide that 1,000 by 3, what can I do, Nayelis? Actually, Nayelis, before you share, I would love to have you girls have an opportunity to share as well. My question is, if I need to divide 1,200 into 3 groups, what can I do?
What can you do is, since we know that only you can't divide 10 by 3, you have to put 1.
Nineshka,
Huh?
I'm noticing that you're grouping right here. What amount are you grouping by, and how do you know to group it like that?
Well, basically, I couldn't divide 2,000 by 3, so I decided to cross that out and split the thousands into hundreds because thousands are made out of hundreds. So I just added 210 because I know 10 times 100 is 1,000.
Okay.
And then because I usually had 400s and then I added 10 to that, so I got 200. So I got 240 for all these hundreds, and when I looked at 240, I noticed that it was basically 24, but you placed the 0
Got it.
right next to it.
Now, my question, everything you said is absolutely true. Yes, it is. It's correct. You did decompose these into into your hundreds. But my question is, now I'm noticing that you're grouping your hundreds into some amount of hundreds. Why are you grouping these? Like, why are you grouping the hundreds into a specific amount?
Because if there was an even amount, I wouldn't be able to split it. But if there was an even amount, I would be able to split it. So right now I have 240, so I'm able to split it into groups of 8, 3 groups of 8.
Okay, why 8?
Because like I said, how I know it was basically 24. You just place the 0. I know that 8 times 3 is 24. So if you just place the 0 next to the 24, it would be 240.
Got it.
So basically it would be 80 times 3.
Okay.
It would be 80 times 3. So I'm just calculating to make sure I have 800s, and I circle each of those 800s.
Perfect. All right, Devaney, what's your question?
Do we have to circle the groups in 3s or circle the groups in 6?
Tell me more about your question. I don't understand.
Like,
Why do you want to group in 3s?
because it's 3 groups.
Okay. So I noticed that you cross your thousands. Why do you cross your thousands?
Because there's not enough to put in each one box.
Oh, so that kind of answers your question, doesn't it? You can count 3 here, right? So if you cannot count 3, what should you do?
Do not up 1,000.
Put it to the 10s.
You gonna bring your thousands to your, you said tens?
Oh no, to your hundreds.
Okay. How are you gonna do that?
You erase these.
You try to bring it to the tens? Is that what happened? Oh, I see. Remember, we going down in descending order. First you have your thousands, then your hundreds. So this one, if you decompose it, it's gonna go down to hundreds, not to tens. So now that you know that you need to break them, once you break them, bring them over to the right place, okay? Chioma, take us through your work again.
So first I started with the thousands, and since there was 9 and they were dividing it by 3, there was enough to put in each group. So I put 3 in each. And then
Chioma, as you're working, can you point to what you're saying so that your friends can see what you're saying?
so since there was 9,000, I was able to put 3 of them in each group because 3 times 3 is 9. And then since there was no hundreds, I moved on to the tens. But there was only 1 10, and I could only put 3 in 10 only 3 times. So I had a leftover there, and then I put it here in the ones place. And then the ones I grabbed the 9s and put them there, and then I had 1 left over, and then I got then I added all these together, and I got 3,003 remaining ones.
All right, Chioma, so I have a question. How do you know that your answer is correct? I mean, you have 3 groups. Is your answer all 3 of the groups? Chioma? Huh?
Yes.
Okay, so Chioma says that her answer is all 3 of the groups. I want to check around the room. Hold on, Chioma. I'll get back to you. You change your mind? I still want to check in with your friends, see what they think, okay? So, Chioma said, originally she said that the answer was all 3 of the groups. So I want to know whether you agree or disagree with Chioma and why. You're going to have to explain your thinking for this part. So Devaney, I saw your signal first. You were disagreeing. Can you explain why you disagree with that statement that Chioma made first and explain your thinking?
I disagree because Because the question is asking how many students go to each school.
Okay, tell us more about that.
And there's only one. They're all the same thing, so like only one of them would be the answer.
So you said each school. So I know what you're thinking about, but I want us to really think about the concept of division. So in Chioma's model here, what do each of these groups represent in the story? What does each group that Chioma created represent in the story? Abigail.
Each group that Choma represented, it represents each school because in the text it says that they evenly split among 3 schools. So they only want to know, since there's going to be an even number and equally split, that means that each one is going to have the same. And to have your answer, you only have to see one because that's what everything has. But if you do all the 3 groups together, that will most certainly bring you back to 9,015.
Awesome. Yes. You're right, and Chioma, you were right. I know that at the end you were trying to change your thinking, because now, after we had the conversation, you can see why each one of the groups is the answer, okay? All right, girls. So what we're gonna do right now is we are going to grade each other's work, and this is how we're going to do it. On the board, I have the prompts. Did they use the right strategy? Class.
Yes.
Eyes are tracking the board. Leah. And did they get the right answer? So your job is going to be, you're going to look at your partner's work. You are going to see the strategy, if they use the right strategies to solve, and did they get the right answer. You're going to give them a point for each. And once you do that, you are going to write your name on their paper. So go ahead and switch papers with the people at your tables. Your name is going to go on your partner's paper. So, Devaney, if you got Chioma's paper, you're going to put your name on Chioma's paper after you grade it. Okay? Yes, Serenity.
How much points are we giving the person?
1 if they got it correct, and 2 points if they got it correct and they show the right strategy.